Hey, it's Tyrone Jackson, Wealthy Investor again, and I just wanted to remind you that if you enjoy listening to the Trading Stocks Made Easy podcast, be sure to share it with your friends all across social media, including Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you enjoy hearing about success principles that inspire you, as well as interviews with some of my most successful students, I want to remind you it's right here at the Trading Stocks Made Easy podcast, wherever you get your podcast. And make sure you download as much free material as you want at thewealthyinvestor.net. I'll see you there.
It's time for the Trading Stocks Made Easy podcast. Each week, Trading Stocks Made Easy demystifies stock trading and investing so you can profit big. And now, here's the host of Trading Stocks Made Easy, the wealthy investor, Tyrone Jackson.
Hey there, it's Tyrone Jackson, the Wealthy Investor, and welcome back to Trading Stocks Made Easy. And guess what we're going to talk about today? We're going to talk about being committed to stock market success, or being committed to success. Each and every week, we have a little time to spend with you. Sometimes I like to talk specifically about the stock market, and sometimes I like to talk about principles of success. Well, today, we're going to do some combination of both. Now, success is a funny thing. I was once at a conference and I heard someone say, success has 1,000 fathers and failure is an orphan. And I thought to myself, boy, is that true. Well, as someone who's experienced success in my life, I have really learned that when you venture out to start out to be successful in anything, it's almost as if the universe will test your commitment. That power that's greater than you and I will come along and say, do you really, really want this? And you'll go, yes, 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 in your thoughts. And then the universe says, well, I'll open a few doors, but I am now going to test how badly you want this outcome. And anybody who I've ever met who's experienced tremendous success seems to agree with that principle. So how do we start out and how do we put ourselves in the right mental state of mind for the challenges that come our way when we seek to be successful at anything? Well, we have to know that, as Brian Tracy puts it, nothing works right the first time. So I'll give you a little story. I have multiple residences, right? And very often I try to do work on my home myself, which I happen to be terrible at. And I'm glad I know that I'm terrible. And one of the jobs I had to do once was put in a new window. Now, if you've ever put in a new window, you've gone to Home Depot, you bought it, maybe you have a buddy who's helping you out. It's not just a window, it's that you have to measure and shim and make sure that the window is tight and cosmetically looks good. And you want to stop the air from flowing in because that would affect your heating bills. Well, the first thing that you learn is when you put in the first window, it's not going to go well, right? Why? Because you're not a professional window installer, which means there's going to be a learning curve. And that learning curve could take all day until you actually learn the system. So success is a system, right? So anytime I try to do something for the first time I've never done before, I expect that it's not going to go well. Why? Because that's where that learning curve is. Well, the same thing happens on Wall Street with a lot of these companies that you actually see that make billionaires, either from shareholders or people inside the company. Companies like Facebook or Microsoft or even Google to a certain extent. When all of these companies started, or when they start a new division, most of the time it doesn't go well. So we've seen this recently in Facebook and Facebook stock because they've changed their name to Meta instead of Facebook. Now, some people argue that it's public relations because when they were Facebook, they were dogged with a lot of lawsuits. But now they've created something called the metaverse. And guess what's happening? It's not really going so well, and therefore the stock price is declining because Facebook is trying to add a new revenue stream, and that stream is really not producing. In other words, the metaverse is being built out very slowly, but the public seems to be asking, what is the metaverse? Well, you see, they're facing an obstacle. Anytime you venture to do something brand new, you're going to face obstacles one after the other. Now, why is this important? Because it's your expectations that are going to disappoint you first. So, for example, if you ventured out in the last 6 months and you said, hey, I am going to really try to create financial freedom by becoming an educated investor in the stock market. You know what's happening in the stock market right now. We're seeing a pullback because the Fed is trying to aggressively fight inflation. If you've just started investing in the last 6 months, the first thing that's going to be challenged are your expectations and your belief system. I was talking to someone recently who was new to the stock market, and they said, I bought some stocks right after they split, and they started to decline. And that's when I started to feel I knew I should not have put my money in the stock market. And I said, oh, do you have faith? And they were like, faith in what? Do you have faith that those companies over time will do well? Yes. Another person I was talking to said, I think I'm just going to cash in my money. I'm going to leave the stock market. Why? Well, I felt like I had a bad feeling about this stock stuff. They're all going down, and now I'm going to leave. And I said, oh, so you really never had any faith in the stock market to begin with. Why? Because the second there was adversity, you wanted to leave. Now, let me explain something to you. When you venture to do something outside of your comfort zone that's brand new, you will be tested. It's mostly your expectations and your beliefs that are tested in the short term because you haven't had enough experience to understand that when markets pull back, shortly they rise again in a major way. So if you're feeling disappointment about anything in your life, whether it's stocks, success, or something that you ventured to do, you probably just haven't had a lot of experience at it. Now, there's also this myth that once you achieve your goal, it's all easy street from there. And I can tell you from personal experience, it just doesn't work that way. So most of you know that I created the Wealthy Investor Program to help you hit new heights and create financial freedom for yourself. And that's great. And this program has been able to help people all over the world get the financial education, generate wealth and residual income, collect dividends, and participate in the stock market in a way that most people never thought possible. And that is great. And I'm very proud of that. And I'm proud of the fact that you listen to me every week right here on the Trading Stocks Made Easy podcast. But what you don't see behind the scenes are the challenges that go on with building a business. So not too long ago, my bookkeeper calls me in to my LA office and she says, we have a problem as it relates to disability insurance for some of your employees because they live in multiple states. And I thought, okay. And she says, well, your payroll company has lost the payments that your employees made into disability. And I thought, okay. She goes, well, they need some answers for us. Now, did I start a business to have to deal with estate and disability insurance payments? No. But I had to learn what was going on pretty quickly and prepare a response, even though I'm already successful. That's just one obstacle that I've dealt with recently, along with internet outages in every single office that I own. Could you imagine that the internet that you pay for, 5G, 10G, whatever they're calling it, doesn't work and you're in a business that relies on technology? What do? Well, this brings us up to the second muscle of success that you have to work, which is problem solving. So while you're seeking great success, there'll be great obstacles. So you have to become a problem solver. Over the past 3 to 5 years, I've become an excellent problem solver, not only because I'm successful, but I've learned to expect that not everything is going to run smoothly. Where did I learn to solve problems? Well, quite frankly, from stocks that dropped in the stock market. You see, when you get really good at being able to predict stocks that are going to drop, not only can you make money from that drop, you learn how to avoid those decisions. So adjusting your expectations, realizing that nothing works great or right the first time, and that in the pursuit of the success, you're going to have to be a problem solver. Well, guess what? If you understand those 3 ideas, the stage is now set for you to really take off. Back in a moment.
Want to increase your stock market trading profits? Then you need to start your monthly membership to WITradeschool.com right now. Don't understand how to write covered calls for monthly income? No problem. Simply review Tyrone's latest stock trades in our video library as many times as you need. WITradeschool.com is all about helping you get the financial education you need to earn money in the stock market and change your financial life. Tyrone Jackson, the wealthy investor, has helped his students earn thousands of dollars per month trading stocks online from home. These are people just like you. So what are you waiting for? Follow Tyrone Jackson's red-hot stock trades and investment strategies today. Don't wait. Start your monthly membership at WITradeschool.com right now.
Hey, it's Tyrone Jackson, Wealthy Investor again, and I just wanted to remind you that if you enjoy listening to the Trading Stocks Made Easy podcast, be sure to share it with your friends all across social media, including Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you enjoy hearing about success principles that inspire you, as well as interviews with some of my most successful students, I want to remind you it's right here at the Trading Stocks Made Easy podcast, wherever you get your podcast. And make sure you download as much free material as you want at thewealthyinvestor.net. I'll see you there. Hey there, today we're talking about the idea of being committed to success, the fact that you're going to have to adjust your expectations. Nothing works right the first time, and there will be obstacles. So if you're new to the stock market and stocks are declining, welcome to your first big lesson. What's causing the decline? Recently, I was teaching live in New York, and I was explaining the Federal Reserve's desire to tame inflation by raising the Fed's fund rate. And as I'm standing there talking to this well-educated group of people, I stop in the middle and I say, you just have to forgive me. I never thought I'd be an economics professor because I love trading in the stock market. But look at how much knowledge I've gained about the world economic system, the U.S. economic system, the fact that it's 2/3 consumer base, and now I can predict buying trends and fourth quarter trends, which makes me ultimately a better stock picker. Well, whatever you're going through right now in your retirement account or financially in your life, what would you say if I said to you, this is all about growth and learning? What would you say if I said to you, you're going to make plenty of money, but right now you're in a heavy growth phase and the money you put in the stock market, it's worth a little bit less. Would you accept that? Well, I hope you would, because we're going to talk about another tool here for financial success, and specifically as it relates to the stock market. It's called dollar cost averaging. You see, people who are successful in the stock market are always making contributions. And because they're putting in a little bit every single month, when stocks are low, they have cash to buy their favorite stocks when they're on sale. The person who just gives up in the middle and ceases the contributions never get their favorite stocks when the prices are low, because they're constantly buying into the market when prices are high. So if this is resonating with you right now, your job is to what? Dollar cost average in. Keep putting money into your TD Ameritrade, your E-Trade account, no matter what the market condition. You'll buy some shares when they're low, and when the market turns around, you'll ride it straight up. People will say, you're a genius. And you'll say, no, I just learned how success works. And investing, I learned to dollar cost average into stocks. That is the secret with what we're experiencing right now in this market, is to have an eye towards the future. Now, if you own dividend-paying stocks in your IRA and in what we call your Wealthy Investor cash account, guess what? Those checks keep coming to you every 13 weeks. Even when the market is down, you're still pulling in residual income. And by the way, speaking of residual income, one of the keys to success, which is one of the reasons I love the stock market so much, is because it constantly provides you with residual income in the form of dividends. You see, most people spend their life constantly trading time for dollars. Well, if you're putting money in your TD Ameritrade account every single month, buying some stocks when they're low and when they're high, and all of those stocks pay a dividend, where are you going to be 2 years, 3 years, or even 5 years from today? The answer's simple. You are going to be wealthier. So what are your expectations when you're tested and you're committed to something? Do you just want to throw your hands up and walk away? Well, many people do. That's why they never experience an incredible life. For you, you have to remember that when you venture to try something new, Even if it's gone well for a period of time, there are going to be periods of time where you're going to be tested, where your expectations simply just aren't met. When that happens, stay focused on your larger goal, and guess what? You will achieve it. They say birds of a feather stick together. And when you start talking success principles with people who understand, you are building a network of successful thinkers that will never leave you. If you've ever been part of a mastermind group, the purpose of a mastermind group is that you feed off of other people's positive thoughts outside of yourself. Positive people sometimes see things that you just can't see because they've developed a way of looking at adverse circumstances which help them in the long run. Well, if you're in a mastermind group or not, I'm glad you tune in each week to the Trading Stocks Made Easy podcast, because sometimes we talk specifically about the market and sometimes we talk about principles that keep us moving forward. Adjusting your expectations and staying focused on the long-term important ideas that will literally draw success to you if you use them as teaching tools. Well, that's it for this episode. Tyrone Jackson, the Wealthy Investor, saying I'll see you here next week on Trading Stocks Made Easy.
You've been listening to the Trading Stocks Made Easy podcast. Be sure to rate and review our show on iTunes. While you're on iTunes, be sure to click the subscribe button and you'll automatically receive our next episode.